Welcome to another episode of Black Ice Reality Check. We have a special guest tonight. We have the king of crypto, Miguel with Dollar Cost Crypto. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. What's up, G? I don't even know where the camera to look at in here.
You're in a different studio.
Yeah, I've only done one. I think I've only done one show in here.
Well, yeah. So I'm usually on your shows.
Yeah,
all the time. And I said, hey, you got to get on my show. You have some good insight, definitely on crypto. Everybody was asking me after you were on the show.
Yeah.
They're asking me all this crypto stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm not the guy. So I have you on the show, to talk more about what you're doing, and maybe you can share with the people on the show, on the live. This is our first live, by the way.
Right.
So I don't know how many people we're going to have. I don't know how to experience it, but this is my first one. You actually encouraged me to get a live going.
Speaking of the mic.
There we go. Duh. Okay, you actually... it's those new tropics, man.
Those new tropics, man.
So anyways, again, welcome to Black Ice Reality Check. Special guest, Miguel from Dollar Cost Crypto, the king of crypto, I call him, in the Southwest.
The Southwest?
The Southwest or just Las Vegas?
Nah, man, let's call it the whole West Coast.
The whole West Coast.
The whole West Coast, man.
This is the guy that has... talk about your program. You have Dollar Cost Crypto, which is a podcast. Your business partner is Charlie, who I met the other night.
Cultivate crypto. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have a program called Citadel, the Citadel.
Right. So, yeah, we have two products. We have the Citadel, which is basically a giant chat group where we helped like new and kind of people coming into the crypto space for the first time that want to learn the basics. And then from there, we have a boot camp style course called Crypto Mindset. And that's our flagship product. And we do that roughly like every 3 or 4 months, give or take. And through these products and services and stuff, we've helped like 12,000 people onboard into crypto, and primarily from the red pill space, actually.
Wow.
Which is really cool. Like, I'm proud, that's one of the proud things that me and Charlie have done is that we've helped a lot of people kind of learn how to navigate throughout the the cryptocurrency space and stuff, because like the whole ideology of the red pill is basically taking control of your life, get better, level up and stuff, ascend, right? And this is kind of why the Citadel is the same thing, because in the crypto space, there's like this there's this kind of like this this story, right? It's called the Bitcoin Time Traveler.
Okay.
Which basically these Bitcoin guys travel back in time to stop Bitcoin from being created. Because basically the whole world runs on Bitcoin, and because Bitcoin, there's a finite supply, we go from an inflationary world to a deflationary world. So when you go to a deflationary world, people don't want to spend money anymore, because basically if I just wait, my money will be worth more.
Right.
So it ends up making people mentally less productive, because they don't want to do as much stuff because they're just kicking back. Basically.
Wow, that's a good story.
Yeah, so basically all the rich people in the world as Bitcoin starts getting going higher and higher in price, people start building these mini cities, and then it becomes like these citadels, these Tower of Babels, damn near. And the higher you are on the tower, the more wealthier you are. So it's like the Citadel. The whole joke is basically we're ascending up
ascending. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. That's good.
There's a whole story behind everything and stuff. We put a lot of time and thought into it. I mean, it's cheeky and stuff, but this is one of the kind of jokes and stuff. And as crypto has evolved, there's like more than one Citadel now. It basically means that there's more than one way to get rich in crypto.
So my question is, what inspired you to get into the crypto space?
I mean, if I'm being honest, the gains.
The gains?
No,
that's a good reason, right?
No, it's the gains. But if I'm being honest, the first time I ever thought of even using crypto, I mean, it was because of weed, basically.
Right?
Yeah, I know, legitimately. Yeah, like were
you sitting around one night just on the couch doing couch lock, smoking and?
Well, look, people who know me know I barely smoke at all. I really don't like smoking weed.
Right.
But it's the cool thing to do when you're in high school. Everyone wants to do it, but but the experience, like imagine like the experience of actually going to a dealer is actually pretty terrible for the most part. Either to get content. I mean, this is like way back in the day when it was illegal and stuff like like it's just like you would meet with shady dealers and you'd be like, dude, this is fucking freaky, bro. I don't want to be doing this stuff. And that, of course, me, being a good Catholic boy, didn't want to do any of that stuff. But so I was like, you could buy it on the internet? I didn't know you could do that. Where can you do it? There's something called Silk Road.
Oh,
whoa!
Okay.
What's Silk Road? Well, you have to buy these coins, these Chuck E. Cheese tokens called Bitcoins. And I was like, okay, cool. What do you need? He's like, basically, you need a credit card, and then they take your cash, and they just give you a bunch of Bitcoin, and then you can use the Bitcoin on the website.
Now, how much was the Bitcoin when you were doing this? Was it like really like?
It was pretty low. It must have been $2.
What?
$2, maybe $3 in that range. Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, because like I remember, shout out to my boy Julio, but at the time, this is the way I am so passionate about teaching about like financial literacy is because at the time I didn't have a bank account at all. I came from immigrant parents, and we pretty much were a cash-based society because basically everyone was afraid of getting deported.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we all, everyone got paid in cash. It was all cash into the cushions. Gun on the drawer. Right. So I was like, bank account. What's that? And I mean, it took me a long time before I even got myself a bank account. So I didn't have a debit card, so I couldn't interact like financially with the internet. So because of that, I was so interested in the Bitcoin thing. I just thought it was like, oh, cool. So I was like, hey, bro, here's $200. Keep 100 of it. Buy weed for yourself. I want to keep these Bitcoins, but basically he just got scared, because we were young kids and stuff at the time. I mean,
right.
This must have been like how old? We were barely 20 maybe.
Wow.
He was 20, he was probably like 19 or 18 and stuff. So we were just like, oh, we'll just leave it alone. And then from there, it just kind of disappeared from my thought process for like a long time.
So that was it. You were like, how do I get this weed with Bitcoin?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was legitimately how like I first interacted. I was like, this is so cool. And I was mostly, and then my buddy Julio was mostly talking about it because he thought he could buy some sneakers on it. Like you could buy, he's a big sneakerhead. So we were like, wow, we could do some really cool stuff here because we wanted for commerce basically at the time, right?
Right.
And then what happened later is, it basically, I heard it just pumped $1,000. There was a hack in Mt. Gox, which is a Magic the Gathering exchange out of Japan. So imagine like you're just some turbo dork white boy or like whatever the hell he was in Japan, and he had a website. Might have been an Asian dude. I totally forgot. It's been a long time with when I read the story and stuff. But basically, the guy had a Magic the Gathering website. Decided just to, like, well, let me just take a form of payment, the Grant Cardone thing, take what, don't say no, right?
Right.
Take the money, right? And he says, so he adds Bitcoin to it, and then people start buying and selling Bitcoin, and it becomes such a huge thing that he just says like, holy crap. He just starts buying Bitcoin en masse on all these websites, bringing it onto his laptop, and then selling it from his website, taking transaction fees, and he becomes like 80 or 90% of the entire Bitcoin transactions.
Wow.
On his exchange. He like that exchange was like, that's why it was MT Gox, and they made it like sound like it was like some giant like god level fortress and stuff in Japan.
Right.
So MT Gox and stuff. So everyone was buying their Bitcoin from there.
Wow.
And what happened is this dude was like, this is just a card shop guy, not the sophisticated smart guy, thought this was a trendsetter dude, but wasn't technologically advanced. What ended up happening, he was running the entire Bitcoin network and all his transactions and stuff on one laptop. Imagine running the entire world's transactions of Bitcoin, all the Bitcoin in the world, damn near.
And it wasn't secure.
It wasn't secure. It was on one laptop.
Wow.
And basically this is where it gets a little shady. Some employees and some things going on. It wasn't the main guy who stole the money or nothing. He was just trying to run the business. Some employees and some people who knew basically stole some of the money. Some of them got away, but most of it got recovered. And it's been in basically lawsuits and stuff in Japan for like ever. It's just now, like we had like March 10th, we had the first repayment on Mt. Gox since 2013, 2014.
Wow.
It's been that long. But at that time, it was like how much was it? It was probably like $40-50 million worth of stuff, right? Now it's because Bitcoin's exploded so much in price. We're talking about it's billions of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody on Super Chat said a lot of people don't know this, but crypto is an asset class. The last asset class since 1995, the bond market. Is that right?
No, I mean no. The bond market. Wait, hold up. No. The bond market is the old. It's damn near
1696.
1696.
Sorry.
Well, it could be. I mean, it might be derivatives or something like that in terms of like an asset class and stuff, depending on what you want to do. But bonds are one of the oldest asset classes in history and stuff. I mean, originally, right? Most Americans learned about, even though bond stocks, this stuff's pretty old, right? But in terms of like the American public and the Western public really using it as normal people, the first time that people started getting into bonds was basically during World War I, because they needed a way to pay for it. So they ended up issuing something called victory bonds, or war bonds, basically. So you'd give 10 cents, and then the bond would say, when the war's over, when we win, we'll pay you back 15 or 25 cents. So a whole generation of people basically become bond traders for the first time, and that's where America ended up getting a ton of savings during World War I. When the war ended, that money, for the first time, the American public actually had money in their pocket.
Okay, so this is all great. I'm going to kind of segue away.
Yeah, of course.
How did you get tied in with, like, you're in a, you have a disclaimer.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
But you're kind of an advisor too to a lot of folks in the red pill space. Is that a fair statement?
Well, people ask me for my advice and stuff, but they don't have to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've worked with Rollo Tomasi.
Yeah.
You've done stuff with Fresh and Fit.
Yes.
Recently, I ran into you at a secret, undisclosed location meeting by happenstance. Right.
That's what happenstance.
I don't know if we can talk about that, but
yeah, we can talk. About
so I was in. Was it Friday? Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
Week.
Yeah.
So. No, it was Saturday. It was Saturday.
Yeah, because it was a Big Sean was playing that day.
Yeah. You were supposed to meet with Fresh from Fresh and Fit.
Right.
That's all I knew. And I had some business meetings in my space, the technology space, because I'm a technical recruiter, basically.
Until 5 in the morning. Holy shit.
Right, 5 in the morning. What are you doing? So I'm walking through the Bellagio. And I look and I see these guys' shirt that says Rumble. Now, if you're in the red pill space or you're in the manosphere, if you will,
yeah,
we're all like looking at Rumble because we see some of our peers that have been kicked off of YouTube,
right?
And now they're on Rumble.
Yeah, Sneeko Tate.
The what's the guy from that? He has that
Aiden Russ.
That alcohol beverage. Steve will do it.
Oh, Steve! Shout out to Steve will do it. Yeah, he was actually going to be there that night, except he ended up having to get on a plane or something to do another.
I thought he was at the event though.
He was at the event. He was going to come with us on the after. He was on the after show with us and stuff because we basically we're going to a nightclub to see Big Sean and stuff, and something he had to go somewhere basically to do an interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through and I see the Rumble shirts and I look and I said, "Are you guys obviously they're from Rumble, right?"
Yeah.
Every company brands their T-shirts when they come to Vegas with their blazer on, right?
Right.
And so I'm talking to these guys, and I turn around. There you are.
Yep.
There's Fresh and Charlie.
Yeah.
And I've never met Charlie or Fresh, right?
Right.
And I'm like looking at you like, wait a minute. And I thought, I hope they didn't think I tried to slide into a meeting.
I 100% thought
I was like
man.
walking through. So it was so coincidental because we've been talking about this meeting.
Yeah.
Right. And I wish you the best of luck. I said, hey, hope everything goes well. You get it set up. But it was just such a coincidence that we ran into each other at the Bellagio.
Right.
That was crazy.
That's crazy. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, this is why we kind of moved here to Vegas. Is just they're the two biggest growing cities in America, regardless of like the crash in the stock market or real estate, is Las Vegas and Miami, the two biggest growth cities. Now you could say a little. There's maybe Nashville, bit as well. Yeah.
What about Dallas?
I think Dallas more than Austin, probably. But there's kind of these hubs, like almost like it's like almost like the Holy Cross, kind of like in terms of like how it goes. But you're getting a brain drain from like New York and what's it called, New Jersey down to Miami. You're getting a lot of, and then you're also getting a little talent there in Atlanta as well. But we're getting a ton of people just leaving Silicon Valley and leaving L.A. coming to Vegas. I originally am from California, born and raised, and I just had to leave at some point just because it was just getting terrible.
Well, that whole thing with Silicon Bank going under.
Oh yeah, no, it's
and then the government bailed them out.
Yeah, well, basically. Now there's two ways. Like we can get into some shit right here, but basically, Signature Bank, if I remember correctly, Signature Bank, it may have been Silicon Valley Bank, but I think it was Signature Bank. Signature Bank technically didn't default; they just made them go under. Like in terms of like
they made Silicon Bank go under?
No. Signature Bank.
Because Silicon Valley Bank, I thought was the one that went under.
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 banks that went under.
Right.
And right now, Citibank and Wells Fargo are looking shaky right now.
Wow,
shaky.
What about Chase?
Oh, you want to know something crazy? Bank of America, Chase, and who is the other one?
Wells Fargo.
No, there's one other. No. But basically, J.P. Morgan and Bank of America are ones that really won here. A lot of people who had money in small bank accounts or in like these kind of smaller community banks are pulling their money and just opening Bank of America and Chase accounts. Like Chase and the Bank of America can't keep up with all the money deposits.
But But if you have less than 250K in there, you're still FDIC insured.
Oh, yeah, you're totally fine. Yeah, like the average 35-year-old's bank account's like what, $5,000 and stuff. So like everyone, you're fine with the FDIC, but it's just a sort of, but wealthy individuals and stuff are just like, whoa, because they're trying to open a ton of accounts right now.
So you can keep everything below 250K.
250K, yeah.
Yeah, that must be a hassle for you.
It's not easy, sir. I'm international, worldwide,
right on, man.
Mr. Worldwide, baby. I mean, I just got back from Puerto Rico too.
Oh, hey, let's talk about that. So, what's the current state of the crypto market right now? Where do you see it?
It is a very interesting. Right now, we're pumping. We just recently had Bitcoin touch $26,000 again. That was awesome. We're back to 24,000. But basically, this whole debacle that happened with the banks ended up unpegging our central stablecoin, which is basically, we have a cryptocurrency that's $1, basically.
Right.
And we use it in order to not have to cash out into the real world, just because the banks, we in crypto, we like speed. Speed kills. We love to be able to go like that. Crypto is open 365 days a year, 7 days a week, nonstop, no holidays. It works. You can wake up in the middle of the night, like, holy shit, my girlfriend. Like, you can sell it all, like literally just like that. You can do it. You can do anything you want with your money, which is like unheard of in the traditional space. But what happened recently is our USDC unpegged from $1 and went down to as low as 84 cents.
Wow.
And that shook the confidence of, the whole market. But basically because of at the same time, when the unpegging happened, we also had the bank closures happening. So the banks were really being slow. So at the same time, you couldn't, if let's just say I wanted to sell my Bitcoin on Coinbase, get into cash and send it to Chase or send it to this, you couldn't do it. So a lot of people, so what ended up happening is that the whole market decided, if I can't exit the market, I'm the buy. So a lot of people who had their cash on the side decided, fuck it, I'm buying. They hit the green button. So Bitcoin and Ethereum just went like this. Boom, Bitcoin up 14, wow. 15%. Hex, basically any communities that have, any coins that have a lot of like community members and are actually still very active did extremely well. Hex basically in the span of, it almost went up 50, 60% in like 3 days, which is incredible.
Wow.
We went from like 5.3 cents to like, I think we peaked somewhere around like 8.6, 8.9 cents, which for some people that doesn't seem like a lot, but you got to understand, you have $100,000 in Hex as an example, right? And it goes from 5 cents to 8 cents. You have somewhere between $40,000 to $60,000 in gains within 3 days. That's significant.
What about like the next 5 to 10 years? How do you think crypto is going to evolve in terms of the society and the mainstream average Joe?
Average Joe.
Do you think crypto is going to be a normal part of their life? As far as usability, government crypto, etc.
It's going to be more normalized. It's going to be more normalized. Like basically, the average person is pretty much going to be so you've seen a lot of people who buy like you have kids or something, and they buy like these Roblox like packs, or they spend like, Dad, can I use your credit card? I want to buy $100 like little loot box and stuff.
Right.
Like you're gonna have more of that sort of stuff, but be cryptotized. So you're gonna have more cryptocurrency games. In the next 5 to 6 years, we are going to have a Federal Reserve central bank digital currency, the Fed dollar. Just today it was announced that the Federal Reserve now has just opened up an instant payments platform.
Wow.
Wonder why, right? So that means the next relief check. So the COVID, the Android, I like calling it the Android 19, the Android 19 virus, right? The Android 19 stimulus checks that everyone got, right? The way they're going to get people to use the central bank digital currency is this: they're going to give you a check. Okay, here's your $2,000 check, Maria. Which if you want it in a check form, it's going to take 3 weeks to get to your house, or you sign onto the app through the Federal Reserve, log in all your information, and and you get it instantly in this new thing, in this new coin that works instantly with your JP Morgan Chase and all the other banks. And most people are probably going to go towards the app a little bit, but there's still going to be people who are like, get the check because they don't understand it. Then the next check that happens, they're going to say, hey, you have to use the app this time. Maybe it's 2 times after that. On the third check, But basically, that's how they're going to start onboarding people onto using the central bank digital currency. Like, it's already happening already. Our money is already digital already. Like, half the time, like anyone younger than 30 is basically just selling their friends money all the time. And it's like, hey, bro,
that's true.
Yeah, it's like, if you think about it, right? Like, how much cash do we really hold? I mean, sure, here in Vegas it's a little differently. We have a lot of cash here.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's funny you said that, because in Seattle, there's a lot of millionaires in the tech space.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has freaking cash on them. Mm-hmm. Nobody has cash. And the funny thing is, you hear the rap songs come out, Cash App, Cash App, right? And then you go to the conservative side, or I won't say the conservative side, the business side, corporate America. Right. They all have Zelle or Venmo. They don't have Cash App.
Yep.
Then I go to get my haircut in the ghetto. Yeah. They all have Cash App and they don't have Venmo. Nobody's on the same platform. It's like, what happened, right?
Right.
But everybody's doing that. But here in Vegas, we all have cash. Like, we all have 500 to 1,000 on us at all times.
Yeah, because everyone gambles, or everyone just does stuff, or like they're doing sports betting.
Yeah.
There's just tons. But this is a very special town. This
You're
is
right.
a very cash heavy town.
Cash and carry.
Yeah,
and
lock and load.
Lock and load.
And lock and load.
Lock and load.
Everyone's packing out here. Don't rob anybody out here. You're gonna get Swiss cheese out here.
That's true, right? Gun laws are pretty good. So, what role do you see crypto playing in the future of finance? We talked about that. So, do you think it's going to be a mandatory platform? Do you think that the government will go away with cash eventually? Politically,
yeah,
the left is more a big government,
right?
More controlling. The right is less. They try to. They try not to be. They try to open up the gates more, right?
Yeah.
But do you see the office going right in the next election? How is that going to affect crypto? Is that going to be a blessing for crypto? Is it going to make it?
So okay. So obviously I'm like a soothsayer here, and I got to break the chicken bones a little bit here, right, to see what's going to happen. But basically, both left and right are going to go for the central bank digital currency. Now, the cash debate is going to be the big debate, and I think cash is going to. Most of the times they try to get rid. They're going to try, like China. Even China still hasn't gotten rid of a lot of their physical cash, but they're trying to, right? So it's gonna be a really hard fought battle. It's basically going to be the new. It's going to be the new sort of gun debate, damn near in America.
Wow, yeah,
and the Republicans and a lot of. I mean, some people on the left.
It's all about regulations, right?
Yeah,
the right's going to try to deregulate a little bit. The left's going to regulate more.
Yeah.
But I don't see cash going away. What do you think? 10 years it'll go away?
No. If it does go, it'll get phased out in 20.
How's it going to affect the service industry?
Basically, they'll know everything about your business to be able to get taxed on everything. So there's going to be two economies. There's going to be the central bank digital currency, and there's going to be the crypto side.
Oh,
that's it.
So do you think? Okay, let me ask you this: could I, if it, let's say, it just went digital?
Yeah.
And I got bottle service
Sure.
Can I tip through crypto instead of the banking system?
You could do both. You could
to avoid the taxes, because these people live off tips. I mean, we all know. Let's just call it the way it is. We all know that most of these people don't claim all their tips.
No, you would. No. Not now. You are like, bro. People, are good, God-fearing Americans right here. And, we all pay our taxes, our fair share. You guys.
Yeah, okay, but you know what I mean, right? They're living off the tips, right?
Yeah,
cash and carry town, right?
Right. So it's like now if it's using the little I'll just use the cup. If they're using the little like scanner thing at the thing, the tax is already charged whether you're paying in crypto or cash. But if someone privately pulls out their little wallet, there's no tax on that. So like let's just say like,
can you exchange from person to person?
Oh yeah, you can do that right. Like all this, you can do it right now. Like I can send you like $1 million in 3 seconds.
Okay, I'm waiting. Let me get my watch.
Yeah, get your Ethereum wallet out.
What Ethereum wallet? It's like, is that really Ethereum? Is that a percentage? No, I remember buying Ethereum, man, back 2016, and I had to sell it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
dude, that was such a good buy. Like back in the day, like things are so much simpler because most people in the world were not onboarded into crypto. All you had to have done in 2016, 2017, download Coinbase.
I did.
Coinbase only had like three coins at the time: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's all you had to do. Literally, if that's all you did, you just bought those three, damn, you did well.
I'd be set for life.
Yeah, well, if you came in with some cash, especially like this is the benefit to people like to like anyone who's like 30 plus. that was in crypto at the time because they were more established and had money. When you're younger, you're 24, 25, maybe 21. You don't have as much cap. You believe it 100%.
I bought a fair amount. I was buying a lot, and then I got in a situation where there was a hiccup. I don't know what it was in the economy. There was a questionable. See, the tech space is very volatile.
Right. No, I believe that.
I mean, you should have seen what happened when that Silicon Bank went under.
That one is crazy. 50% of all fucking tech startups banked at that bank.
And I'm in the startup space. So everybody kind of, hey, hold up. And then they got funded again. And then today I had calls with intellectual property, patent companies, in the startup space, right? But that was on hold because that affected everybody,
right?
In the startup space, right? All their funding got held up and everything.
Yeah, I mean, and then a lot of them, but basically, they're trying to blame all this. The bank run's basically trying to be pivoted on the networks because it started with a crypto crash.
Right.
It wasn't. It was a loss of confidence in the Silicon Valley Bank, which was a startup thing, and you can almost blame Peter Thiel on that. Peter Thiel. So basically, for anyone who knows, basically the Federal Reserve in 2022 started increasing the Federal Reserve interest rate tremendously. We went up basically 400 basis points in a year, which means if you got a really good credit score, you're getting a 30-year fixed mortgage, 3-4%. Now you're shooting somewhere between probably 8 to 9 if you got shitty credit.
Right.
And they plan to do another basically 100 basis point increase. That means in a year or so, outside of the Fed cutting rates, because the Fed's going to meet on the 22nd of this month, there's very likely a lot of people are going to be doing 10% fixed year mortgages, 30-year mortgages.
Do you think the mortgage? Japan, they got a 100-year mortgage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, do you see that ever going past 30 years? Because some of the prices
we have 40s, but it's in America. You'll be surprised. The American financial system gets shit on a lot across the world, and I've been to a lot of other countries. Dude, other countries' financial systems are horrible. It's like these fools are throwing stones at they're throwing stones at our glass house when they live in glass houses too. Like the United States is say whatever you want about America, but our real estate system is damn near better than almost every other real estate system around the world. Most other people, they have adjustable rate mortgages on everything, or they have 10-year things, or like in China, you only own it for 100 or 60 years and you have to give it back to the state.
So there's no generational wealth with property over in China.
No, they're communists. They're commies, and so they're semi commies basically, right? They're
social commies.
They're social commies. They're economical commies or whatever, right? I mean, they believe a little bit. They basically what they figured out, it's basically there still is a ruling king class. They're just hiding it under basically their version of democracy, which is communism. But they're like, okay, you know what? Our lives would be better if we actually gave the peasant class a little bit of freedom, let them believe that they're working for something, and then they'll create a much better world for us, so we can take whatever we want from them.
Wow,
and that's what they're doing.
Benevolent dictators.
Yeah. I mean, but not even benevolent. Yeah, benevolent dictators somewhat and stuff like that. But that's the sort of system they have. I mean, every country has a system. I mean, we're over here in the United States. This is if you work really hard, you can become rich and you can really build something for yourself. But we live in a plutocracy. Which is basically the richest people in the country own everything, control everything, but there's an illusion of freedom. But there is still free. It's a really weird sort of thing. It's like I've always said we're kind of like China light.
Yeah. I mean, because we don't even own. The government can create eminent domain on anything.
On anything.
So
try not paying the state taxes. Try not paying the taxes on your house. See what happens.
Right.
Fully paid off. That's actually one of the saddest things. I've actually know a couple people that were struggling to pay their they bought their house when it was really, really cheap. The payments were really affordable. They finally paid it off. It got readjusted to the current price.
The property tax.
Yeah, because they basically if you don't get your house reappraised or anything, it's still the property tax, everything is still based on the price when you bought it.
Right.
So they were paying nothing, and then what happens is when they pay the house off, it gets reevaluated, and then or one of the ways they trick a lot of people too is this is pretty sad is hey, you have so much money inside of your house right now, why don't you pull money out? Some people can do that if they're a little more sophisticated and they have places to invest money, but they go to a lot of these poor towns and stuff like that, and they say, well, these people have a ton of equity in their house because they're not doing anything. Let's get them to refinance, bump that up. Anytime you refinance, you have to reappraise the property. Boom.
That actually happened with my place.
Yep. Oh, yeah, we talked about
because I bought the property and it was the land, and so they built the home, but they gave me the property tax estimate based included in the mortgage based on the land. And so once a year and a half went by, then they did it with the house, and my mortgage went up like $360 a month.
I learned something from you from the new, like getting a brand new property. I did not know they did
I didn't know,
shit.
and I'm sure, like you said, we talked about, they probably disclosed that in all the paperwork. Nobody reads all that stuff. They're like signing away before they change their mind and want more paperwork from me, right? Because every 5 minutes, the lender's calling.
Yeah.
Shout out to the lender, though, Scott Moran, right? Good guy, but, they needed paperwork. They need more verification. And you're like, okay, am I going to get the house or not get the house? I'm an S-Corp, self-employed. And it was back then, it was like, hey, 8 out of 10 self-employed people weren't getting approved.
Right.
Even with great credit. It was always something.
Yeah.
Where'd that money come from? Where'd that $200 deposit come from? Like, I don't know. It was a side bet. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I want to shift gears a little bit here but before I do that, anyone that's watching this live and or pre-recorded podcast, make sure you subscribe to Dollar Cost Crypto. Miguel has so much insight. He's like the Rain Man of this stuff. He reminds me of like a Ben Shapiro on steroids, right? Like, so much. You're a walking wealth of knowledge. I don't know what you do or what you're eating, but
I'm taking that nootropic.
Yeah, my nootropic.
Holy shit, that shit is hitting on cylinders right now, man.
I got a new product coming out. He's taking it. We're going to see, but as you can see, it works.
Bro, I feel like
I didn't take mine before the podcast. I took it earlier, but
dude, I took 2 of those pills right now, man. I feel like I'm like,
boom, man. Like, no, seriously. I would like to see you, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, all in the same podcast, talking about economics, talking about crypto. You guys would the internet would break.
I think it'd be a great conversation. I just think that I like Ben Shapiro a lot. The thing is when guys are really good at arguments or debate, they make everything a debate instead of just being a discussion or trading of ideas.
Good point.
It's stop if me and Jordan Peterson were talking, it would actually be a conversation. I could oh, well, you're right. I didn't think about it. Maybe I'm being an asshole about that. Versus if I had Ben Shapiro on, and I really like Ben Shapiro. I feel like if I had a conversation with him, and if it was if it was not recorded, we'd have a much more relaxed conversation. But because it's camera, everyone turns themselves up a little bit when they're on camera. If it's live, holy shit, I got to be.
Well, I wouldn't want to go on a live debate with those guys,
right? But it's the sort of thing when you're a hammer, everything's a fucking nail.
Well, they're savants.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I think, honestly, there's right?
Idiots. Are you calling me an idiot savant?
I'm calling you Rain Man. Right. There's a lot of queens in the deck. So, shifting over to the red pill space. By the way, Mark Giuliano brought up the AI in the blockchain space, which I'm familiar with.
Yep.
So I focus that in the technology space. But he said there's a lot of millionaires coming. It would be created in that space as well.
Oh yeah, that's a big sector.
ChatGPT 4 came out. I'm using that.
Yeah, dude. I'm just started playing with it. Spooky.
Yeah, I have it. But what's interesting?
What?
It's kind of woke. Have you ever asked it a question? It'll give you its opinion. I'm like, I didn't ask you for your opinion outside of my question.
Yeah.
Answer my freaking question. And then I'll say, what's the, how has the feminist movement hurt masculine men? And then it's like, it'll give you this woke answer, and then it'll give you their thoughts.
Yeah.
And then it'll say, just so you know, it could be deemed offensive. And I'm like, I didn't ask for your opinion on this.
Right.
So every question I ask it always gives me
Where
its
was
opinion.
It created?
Silicon Valley.
There you go. That's your answer.
Right. So going in the red pill space.
Yeah.
A successful high value man yourself. If you were in the open dating market and you were dating, what do you feel you and other high value men that you associate with, what do they look for in a woman? Because I have a lot of gals on the show, and I get this typical response. I just did a reel about the majority. The general rule, not the exception. There's always an exception in the rule.
Yeah, there's always exceptions.
Right? But what are your thoughts on what are the key components you're looking for if you're as a multimillionaire, if you're on the market dating, what would you look for in a woman?
I mean, outside, of course, looks, and everyone has a bit of personal preference, whether they like some. I mean, you can't say this shit, but some people are looking for some race or whatever, or ethnicity or culture and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it is, I would say, the culture one's more. It's got a meld there and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you find someone that you really like, looks wise and everything, beautiful. But then from there, it has a lot to do with like personality and just being agreeable.
Do you care so much about their money versus their support?
I do not give a single fuck about their money. Like 0 fucking percent. I actually find that to be a fucking detriment for if like it like like I mean it's a big, because basically I mean I found this throughout my life with most women and stuff, and like this is the sort of thing, like, you know, when you're on the red pill, like you just talk to other people and they're like we're all just like, here's my notes, and then everyone's notes about this certain, not everything agrees, but certain points it keeps like women think their money is their money, and they think your money is their money,
right, on
everything. They get mad, like and not all women, but like it happens. It's like why are you spending all this money on all this dumb shit and shit? Because like to them, it's like you could be spending that money on on us. Or
isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
And that's almost all of them.
Yes. And what I've said is, what's the most money you've spent on a man from your money into them? They might get to $200 or $300, right? If that. And I said, like last night, we all went to dinner. I took my half brothers are in town. Oh, cool. We all went to Herbs and Rye. Have you ever been there?
Oh, yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cold though, man. It was like AC's on. I'm like,
we'll go to Cleaver's next time. They also own Cleaver's.
Okay. Yeah, so I went in there, ordered food, and you know the bill came. I had them, right?
Yeah, of course.
And my bill, I guarantee you, my bill was more than any woman's ever spent on me on one item. And it's so they're like, oh, I bought a pair of shoes or bought it. And I, to be honest, I never asked for their money. I never needed their money. I never asked them to contribute. Right. So if I'm living with someone and the amount of money you're making or I'm making, I'm already paying for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in their money. I need compassion. I need empathy. I need somebody there for me to support me, to kind of push me and elevate, ascend, help me ascend. Right, like you say, right? The Citadel.
The Citadel, yeah.
That sounds like a novella. The Citadel.
Hola, traen tricolor.
That's like over to
Telemundo. Come on. No, but the thing is, like, now I don't want to be all like this sort of thing. Like in the red pill, a lot of guys are just like it's 100% this, but there always is shades of gray.
Absolutely,
there's always shades.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember the time when I was way, I was homeless at one point. And stuff, and I lived out of a girlfriend's car.
Wow.
Yeah, for 4 months. Yeah, we both lived out of her car, out of a 2006 Dodge Charger red, like a red one.
But because she sacrificed for you,
yeah,
that shows so much loyalty.
Right.
So that's your ride or die, right?
Yeah.
We've both been there, man. It's like, man, this person, there was some times where like I said, 2 weeks ago, the market hiccups. And I'm like, uh-oh. And then you just see your money going away, and that person doesn't freak out, and they're there for you. Hey, you'll turn it around. Hey, you'll make that money again or whatever, right? Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, and that's when it has to do with like personality, and then also the respect level towards you. Like if she respects you as a man to lead them and stuff.
That's all you want, right? As a man, you want respect, right?
You want respect. And this is what the one thing I tell to all my students and stuff. Anyone who asks me, of course, they have to ask me. Like if they're asking my advice, I will give it, right? But something I tell them is like if your girl, like I can only talk to the financial sense. If your girl doesn't trust you with the finances, get the fuck out of the relationship. Right after that, if she is like nitpicking you, why are you putting money into this? Why are you doing this? Why are you putting money? Why are you buying crypto? Why are you buying stocks? Why are you putting all the money into this real estate? Leave her right there, because it's only going to be more and more trouble. Because it's a team sport, and you've got one person rowing in the opposite direction.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
That boat's rocking.
Yeah, you have to have like every relationship that I've ever been, they've trusted me 1,000% with the finances. But that's a responsibility. But that's a responsibility I wanted, right? And I've found success with that and stuff. And that's one of the biggest things I can tell people when it comes to now. You should if you really do care about the person, you're with the person for a long time, disclose things to them and stuff like that. But it is. I do tell students sometimes, like, hey, when things are down, hey, just don't mention it.
Right. Like you're not as emotional as they are.
Right. Because what ends up happening with the women, what ends up happening is if you start telling them every single time you take an L. Because it's going to happen. This is the life of hard knocks. Like it's not always like rocket ships and green candles and shit. Sometimes it's like red. You're down in the dumps taking L's, man, and it's just you have to wait it out and stuff. You're on the ropes, just waiting,
bobbing and weaving.
You're
doing the Ollie shuffle.
Yeah, doing the Ollie shuffle. Yeah, waiting for them to tire out so you can start striking. You know, like and charging up like your cash flow into dry powder in order to like have an opportunity. A lot, that. a lot of times, like as long as things just appear good and stuff, and I'm not saying outright lie. Like if you guys are really you're about to lose the house, hey, you got to be for real,
right?
But versus like, oh, portfolio is down 50% in crypto, that's normal. Just FYI, no, in equities, that's holy shit.
No, I went down. My portfolio went down 75%.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Like
we're not taking that private plane this time.
But that's when you're really in the highest level of like equities or you're in crypto and stuff, the volatility is insane. Like this bull market, right? We had positions. I say this as like a joke sometimes, right? There's a coin, right? It's gonna be ridiculous. It's called like was it Rainbow Token or something like that? It's basically it's a video game token about it's a GameFi token and stuff. It's basically like a unicorn game thing or whatever, right? But some people were backing it as just a small position. I was like, all right, put 25,000 into it, right? Left it alone, was just yield farming it. The bull market ended, it crashed down, and it was just a smaller position. So I'll just write it out. I just keep dollar cost. I'll just keep earning the yield and growing it up. It went down almost 95%. So 25,000 turned into 2,000.
You didn't say anything.
No, I mean, well, it was a small position for me, but imagine, I just bring it up as an example. It hasn't died. It's actually came back now. The position's at 5,000 again, but it's the sort of thing where I'm trying to tell people like that's the level of volatility in this game, and you have to be ready for it and stuff. But the thing with big down means big up.
That's funny because the Super Bowl, I lost money.
Oh shoot, what'd you bet?
I took the Eagles, right?
Oh,
I
no.
put 2,000. You know what? I'm done with Kansas City. I lost money. I took Brady against them. I lost money. I took the Eagles.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I had my ticket out.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's like, "How much you bet? How much you bet? How much you bet?" She wanted to see the ticket. So she's like, "Oh, $2,000."
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. I took a risk, but it affects them more from an emotional perspective.
Right.
When the money goes away, they just kind of have that setback, right?
Yeah.
And so the other question I want to ask you, somebody brought this up on the super chat. Dating women, Western women, they don't prefer to date Western women because of the mindset, right? So my question is around that. High valued men, how do you feel about a woman? You say you don't need their money. How would you feel about dating a woman? Let's say she's a boss bee.
Okay.
Very successful.
Right.
Okay, because I talk about this on the podcast. There's nothing wrong with being successful as a woman, but you limit your opportunities and outcomes to meet a successfully high-value man because they don't need your money. They're not attracted to that.
Right.
So they go into this masculine mindset
Frame
about life. So would you ever see yourself or anybody like your circle of influence, are any of these guys dating women that are CEOs or very successful in corporate America?
No, maybe one or two like had some hype. I mean, we're making some money, but then stopped basically, and that's the difficult conversation. Now, it gets to a point. I got a lot of guys in the crypto space that we just made so much money that like it didn't like it just like I've been in relationships before where me and the other, and not intentionally, just like we're hardworking people and stuff. This is something that I really value. That we're just competing against, like it just ends up happening. Like, wow, I started making 100,000. Boom, she started making 100,000. Wow, dude, I did 300 this year. Boom, she started making 2. It was like this competition and stuff. And then, but this is like not like the normal thing. What typically ends up happening is, eventually, like there's either got to be a conversation, or this is why a lot of people aren't having kids as well. Is that you guys never had that conversation of like, hey, baby, you got to tone it down. Are we ever gonna have kids? Right,
because you don't want a daycare raising your kids. Right. You definitely don't want to have your kids in public school now.
Right.
They may end up, identify as a dog, right? It might, like
God, Emperor of Dune.
Right. No, and I'm not picking on any certain class of people or I'm trying to be all inclusive here, but at the same time, I don't trust the teachers.
Oh no! I mean that's big. The big problem in schools right now is that 80%. I mean, like I saw a statistic. There's 14% male teachers versus what is that? I mean, like it's just insane. Like 86% female. Like it's all female teachers. Like it should, like schools at the very least, I mean, like should be 50-50 or at least a little bit extra. I mean, it doesn't have to be 50-50, but it's kind of this crazy. We're having an entire generation of children just taught by women. That's not normal. You would if this was tribal society and stuff, you'd have the girls with the girls, the guys with the guys, but you still have intermingling. People would learn from everybody. The whole tribe would teach the tribe. But it wouldn't just be all females.
Isn't that like a feminist equal opportunity moment here where they're like, oh, they're all about equal opportunity. But if we bring that up, it's a bad thing.
Right.
Right? Because then they say, well, they're the minority when and
bring up male nurses. You'll see how there's a ton. Now hospitals can't get enough of male nurses. But just because they're physically strong, they can lift patients up and stuff like that, and they can handle certain situations because some patients get out of control and they need.
Wow.
I mean, it happens. Yeah. Like there's crazies in the hospital. Like it happens.
That's crazy.
Right. But a lot of female nurses get actually pretty pissed off how quickly male nurses get hired over female nurses. It's opposite. It's like 99% females and it's like 1% guys. So the guys come in. If I just became a male nurse today, boom. I get hired anywhere in the entire United States. I get hired anywhere.
Do you speak Tagalog?
No, I'm sorry. Who was that?
Filipino?
No.
It's a joke.
Oh.
Okay, every hospital you go to, everybody's Filipino.
Oh.
So Tagalog's the language. Visaya or Ilocano or Tagalog.
That shit went so over my head.
Dude, come on, bro. That's your cousins, man. They got invaded by the Spaniards too.
The Spaniards, yeah. Shout out to all the Jose's out there. No.
That's the Pepe moment. Hit it.
Yeah,
no, just kidding. Every time you do that, now I'm like, where's my Pepe?
I'm a short so I love doing that long Pepe thing when I'm like in by myself, but sometimes when I have guests, I'm gonna make a shortened version, like 10 seconds instead of 30 seconds and stuff.
Just then you're sitting there like, what do we talk about next, right?
Yeah, but I like using it like because I've once I've had guests on a couple times that are like. They're like, okay, thank God. They're trying to catch their like, okay, what are we going to talk about next? Like, there's almost like a group huddle for a second, and then like, yeah, it goes.
So I'm going to go back to this crypto. What advice would you give someone who is interested in getting into the crypto space?
Get in. Basically, start the way you would start right now is go learn about. So there's a website called CoinGecko. CoinGecko, you can have it on your mobile, put it in the bookmarks on your phone. And basically, it will show you the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the top cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
CoinGecko. Then from there, I would go on to Coinbase and open an account with Coinbase. Then go open an account at Kraken. Now, these are going to be your two main exchanges.
Where's Kraken based out of?
If I remember right, it was here. I originally thought it was Canada, but actually, I think it's based out of Wyoming. I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're both U.S. based ones. Coinbase is the best place, right? But the thing is one thing that I teach our students all the time is that we treat exchanges and these sort of companies like you're dating girls or you're like spinning plates. You want to have as many as possible because they're tools, basically, in this context for the exchanges. That you put your money in, you get the coins, you pull them out into your custody. The problem is that everyone comes from the traditional space where everyone's so used to the middleman. Imagine
they're used to the banking.
Yeah, you're used to the banking. You have anyone under 35 is just using Robinhood, right? You ever think in your head like this is so crazy to think like of course it's not going to happen, but you ever think to yourself like, fuck, I've got my entire life savings on this one fucking app. I got all my life. Imagine there's no hack and it can't disappear, and they give you your stocks back and stuff. There's multiple databases. But think about that, like how crazy that is. Like I have for somebody that's like under 35, having like $40,000, $80,000 in equities. That's their entire life savings in there. It's out in like $5,000 that they have in the bank account. Can you imagine if one day, like in crypto, right, just having all your money in one place? It's gone. It could disappear. Like that. But because everyone's so used to like, oh yeah, you have my E-Trade account. Oh, I have my this account. I have my 401k. Like people are like the one thing that the traditional system is Ameritrade. They have this very lazy mentality of just like, I trust there's third parties with it. It's going to be right there. Where instead, like in the crypto space, it's about taking responsibility and taking self-ownership and self-custody of your money.
What do you say? Because I see this all the time, man. Especially in my generation.
Yeah,
I got a weird generation, man. We've been through
You're
a
extras.
lot.
You're the extras, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're
you guys took a beating.
We took a huge.
But I will say one thing. This is one of my favorite things. I'm so into demographics. The extras right now are taking over from the boomers right now. So right now the boomers are retiring. You guys are actually graduating into the actual leadership roles of most companies right now. There's a lot of millennials also taking those positions.
Yeah.
But we finally are getting a little bit of like we're getting like the extras coming into something, you know.
But guys my age, man, they're so against crypto. They don't get it. And I say you got to evolve your mindset. And it's so funny when I got into crypto, not like you. I mean, I was
no, but you're pretty in compared to the average population, bro. You're in, dude.
I was, back when people used Facebook. right? That's your family album. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
I'm still alive, Mom, right? But I was posting stuff about and then it took a dump, and everybody came after me. They said, "Oh, how's your crypto now?" I said, "How's your dollar now?" Right? The dollar goes down too. People don't realize that. You can't just print money and your dollar holds the same value. People don't realize that. It's like, oh, we're low on money. Hey, we're going to give money here. We're going to give money here. We're going to give money to Ukraine. Let's just print more money,
right?
And your value of the dollar drops. Your 401k, how's that doing? Right. So every time people do that, and so people think, oh, crypto's a scam because this one guy ripped off people in crypto,
right?
So they attribute that to everybody. Like one bad police officer does something bad, now that all cops are bad, or one attorney, they're all bad attorneys, they're all bad teachers, and so
how many? You lived in Vegas a while, right? How many people are running real estate scams and stock scams here in Vegas?
Yeah.
Just in Vegas alone.
Yeah.
It's the same sort of shit. Like you're gonna have because it's newer technology, you can get away with a little bit more, but as people start getting educated, learn more about the space, it calms down, and then people figure it out and stuff like that. But anytime you have a new technology, remember when the internet came out? Now I'm not old enough for this right here, but I've talked to enough people. I've talked to enough people about this when the internet really opened up and everyone had an email for the first time.
Yep.
There was a 96% open rate on email. 96%. So if anybody in the world sent you an email, you would open it and read it and be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Then
no, we did because when I first got my email account, you didn't have Gmail, you didn't have Yahoo.
Right.
They were from an internet ISP, internet service provider.
Yeah.
And it went through your cable company, and you had to sign up for it. You had to get this ISP, and you had to pay this monthly fee for your email. And you get your email, and you just sit there like you didn't get an email. Like nobody was going to send you an email.
Right.
And now email's like, oh man, I wake up, I have 4 or 5 email accounts. In the morning, I'm just like clearing them all out with garbage, right?
Yeah.
But back then, you get an email, it was like, I got an email.
Right. Then there was the first sort of grifter guy. Then there's always some that figured out, holy shit, I could sell. If everyone's opening it up, I could sell anything. So they started running these ads, and then you started getting like, hey, a prince in Nigeria needs your money, and then people fucking fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And I'm talking about big money too.
Well, they're still doing that stuff, man. I'll get stuff like, hey, your account, we're missing your funds for the account, and they'll say the name of the account, right? Like PayPal, and I'll look at the domain. It's like somebody in Nigeria at gmail.com. It's like, wait a minute.
Yo, if everyone check your phone right now, bro, I be getting these random text. Everyone gets these text messages now. Hey, your PayPal account's been locked. Your Venmo account's been locked. Your Amazon account's been locked. Click here to people are falling. Right now, that's the new grift that I've been seeing lately.
But it's funny because my energy bill comes and they'll send me a text. You want to pay online? I hit pay.
Yeah.
And I'll pay my energy bill. Then they'll send me a text. Like it'll be at home, but I'll just hit pay. Yeah. So there is some stuff that's done over text, but you got to be careful.
Yeah.
If you don't have the new tropics in you, that my product or coffee or
plug it, baby.
Right?
Let's get it.
No, but seriously. So again, going back to your podcast, Dollar Cost Crypto, make sure you guys subscribe to it. He also has a training school.
Yeah.
Called the Citadel.
Yep.
I encourage you to look at that. Aren't you guys doing another session or training session coming up?
We're thinking about maybe starting enrollment for it in April. This is actually going to be a special one because we the last one we did was in November, and basically what ended up happening is that we knew that the bottom of the market was basically in right there. Right. So we decided, hey, you guys, we're going to extend this one for as long as we possibly can. Basically, it's been 5 months already since the last one ended, and we basically got all our students. We taught everyone up and stuff. We basically take people from A to Z, from someone who doesn't know anything to intermediate. Now, don't let anyone in this world tell you that you take my course, I'm gonna make you advance. I'm gonna make you a master. That's a freaking lie. Right. It takes years of experience and stuff. Like I think within.
So are you a Jedi Knight in crypto?
For sure, yeah. I mean, Jedi Knight. Well, I don't know. Maybe
are you the master,
Sith Lord, or I don't know, some gray Sith or something?
I know somebody that's an engineer behind the thing that needs to take that class.
Yeah,
he rolled me hard time. He's like, you told me a crypto, and I put money in and it went away. I said, be patient.
Yeah,
young Padawan, be patient.
Yeah, it's like be dead on the inside.
Right.
Emotion,
is he laughing back there?
Bro, let me tell you this. This is just legit. I laugh at this right now. There's points in my life where if I lost $200, I would have been devastated. just devastated. Like, holy crap, I lost $200. Like, because I used to work. People don't know. Like, I used to run my own like landscape and irrigation business and stuff. And originally it was just landscape. That's all I knew how to do originally. Right. Like, the gardener's outside, Jose with the truck and the roses. My name is Miguel. It's like, I mean, I was like, I really had a really stereotypically racist Mexican job. I mean, it was like Jose Sanchez landscaping. I mean, like literally, like. Well, no.
Now, was your whole crew all Hispanic?
Of course, yeah.
But they weren't all Mexican. They were different Hispanic.
Different Hispanic, but mostly Salvadorian and Mexican.
Okay.
At least our area, that's where we got. We didn't have that much Guatemalans.
You know what's interesting? You go to the East Coast, they say, oh, Latins, and then you come out here, it's Hispanics. Why is that?
Probably
because you like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. You go to the East Coast of Florida. Hey, we got a big Latin community. You come to the West Coast, we got a big Hispanic community.
It's because we're mostly Mexican, and we don't really like 100% like jibe 1,000% with like Spain, but we are more Spain based.
That's Euro though. That's not Latin America.
Yeah, but that's what we call it. We call ourselves Hispanic because it's just because I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird. Like, but then they're pushing this bullshit Latinx.
Oh my gosh,
that shit makes me irritated.
Oh my gosh, I got a story for you.
Oh please.
I had to find this candidate for this high level job, and with this gaming company, and I start talking to her. She's like, "Yeah, I'm part of the Latin." She's Latina.
Oh, of course.
Maybe mixed, but Latina. I couldn't ask.
Yeah.
So I'm part of the advocate for Latinx community. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's always in the tech space, man. It's always in the tech. Something else I've noticed.
Because there's people that can afford to be that retarded.
I'm glad you said that. This is another red flag.
Okay.
Because you know me, I sit there and have these epiphanies. I sit there and I analyze stuff. I'm sitting around, I'm thinking. Have you ever noticed every woman with a hyphenated name is very, very masculine and feminist? Think about it. Anybody you've dealt with that has a hyphenated name, the woman generally does not want to give up their maiden name to the marriage. They want to keep it.
Right.
They'll say some kind of stuff like, oh, it's tradition. I want to keep my family name. When you marry your husband, you're supposed to give up your family and go to your husband and use his last name. So everybody in corporate America that I've dealt with, because I deal a lot with HR.
Right.
It's predominantly women. Okay. Very woke. And every time I look at a client, I deal with the C-level individuals and HR. I interact with the C-suite, which is CEOs, CFOs, chief revenue officers, blah, 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 and then the VPs. Okay. Anytime I look at a client and anyone in HR has a hyphenated name and I got to deal with them, I won't take that client.
Smart.
They're very masculine. It's always about women, the anti-man. And it's like, I don't know. That's a trend I've noticed along with the cats and the horoscope, right?
No, that horoscope shit is real, bro. They always bring it up without fail.
Yeah. And so that science journal of medicine, science publication said that a lot of people that believe, not women, a lot of people that believe in horoscopes have low IQs and are predominantly narcissistic. I did a podcast on that. You wouldn't believe the amount of hated DMs I got and angel numbers.
Yeah.
And then I started correlating that with they all have cats and they're all single.
Yeah. Magic, right? It's a recipe.
So it's that we got to invest in Meow Mix, right?
Meow Mix.
Hey, can we make a Meow Mix coin? What's the deal?
Oh, no, we definitely can. I mean, RC20, baby.
So, and I brought this up last time. You didn't divulge it. What's up with the coin situation, man?
For what?
You.
Oh, well, look. Maybe one day I will. We'll have a project. More than likely, I'm gonna probably stick to products and services in the crypto space.
Would you ever think about going and getting investors and creating a decentralized platform that allows multiple platforms to interact through a transaction, super information highway? Am I talking crazy?
No, you're not talking crazy. I mean, we can make it right now. It's not even like a question. We can make it right. The problem is that if you don't do everything like this,
you can't be in the States.
This is the big problem. Right? Like imagine this shit. Imagine in the early 2000s when we get the tech boom, whether people think it's like a horse shit or not. Imagine the amount of innovation you've stifled by having like. Imagine you're in college, right? You're about to graduate college and you want to go into tech, right? You're about to start your own company. Then if you start your own company, you're going to go to jail. You're going to get in big trouble. You might serve some jail time. You might pay a huge penalty. You got to shut your whole business down. Just imagine how could have happened to the United States from the 90s to like to now in terms of technology, if we actually adopted those sort of things. That's what's going on right now, is that I can have a products and service business. So it means I can make an exchange, I can do education, there's all these workarounds, but the actual thing of actually making a coin or adding some sort of feature like that, it is like frowned upon. And it's really setting back the United States tremendously. And I'm actually a little worried, like if I'm being for real. I mean, like right now, we're like Saudi Arabia and you're having Japan and South Korea actually openly starting to support cryptocurrencies now. The United States is falling behind. It's not too late. We can always turn around. We're the trendsetters, man. We're the cool kids. Anything we say goes. If we think something's cool, it's cool.
Hey, real quick, I got my first super chat.
Sheesh.
Pepe, play it. Do the music.
Didn't have to cut me off.
KG, thank you, man. First super chat ever.
Yeah.
Thank you. He made a comment. I'm gonna grab my old man glasses here. I can't read it. He said, "Great job, guys. Just as a joke, my family is German American. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Sprechen Sie kleine Deutsch, by the way. And when I get asked my horoscope, I tell them my horoscope is German steel." I love it, man. Thanks, KG, for the super chat.
Hey.
No, that's good. So back to this. Puerto Rico.
Yes.
It's not. It's a territory. Guam is a territory.
Right.
U.S. Virgin Islands are territories. Could you do it there? You were just in Puerto Rico.
It's a little easier, but here's the problem: is that they count selling coins. So if I just airdrop everyone free coins and then didn't do nothing, it'd be fine. But if I was really trying to do something innovative and like you're actually trying to capital raise and stuff, what ends up happening is that if a large amount of your token holders are in the United States, the United States takes problem with that because there's U.S. funds.
So
into
Dubai.
Dubai is really the main with that. Dubai, like the reason, and like even Andrew Tate was trying to get to Dubai is because not diplomatic immunity, but you couldn't be extradited from that country. Once you're in, you're safe.
So in Brazil,
yes,
if you go to Brazil and you have a child or a woman gets pregnant by you in Brazil,
okay, you
cannot be extradited.
What?
No, you can't be extradited. So let's say you went to Brazil and you're whatever doing evading.
Yeah,
I'm not promoting this, by the way, guys. But if you have a girlfriend and she becomes pregnant by you, they cannot extradite you back to the United States because you're the father of that child in Brazil.
Interesting.
So that's just a tip.
Just a tip.
No, we're good.
We're good. Thank you, Ben.
So back to that. So can I ask you what you were doing in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, we have business there. We have employees in Puerto Rico and stuff. Yeah, it would to help us manage. So we have a couple guys, some family members, and some other people that live down there in Puerto Rico. They work for the company, and then
all right. So I got a free place to stay.
Actually, yeah, not wrong.
Is it on the beach? And
yeah, we're setting. I mean, one thing that we're actually setting up right now. I mean, I guess I'll say it here and stuff. We are making a crypto tax service.
What?
Yeah, we're making a crypto tax service, and we're going to have different suite of products and stuff. But one of the products we are going to have is more of a for people who want to really hands-on someone actually really helping them with it. It is a pretty rare. It's a pretty hard thing. Like crypto taxes is so extremely difficult. Like even I have trouble doing them. I know crypto very well, and it takes a long time, and it's not easy at all. Coinly, like if you guys Coinly, it's with the K. It's probably like the best product out right now. Basically, you pay like probably $250 depending on transactions that you pull on your wallets. It ends up making a list of something that's you can just give to your tax preparer. Most tax preparers in the United States couldn't. Oh my God, you would spend so much money on your taxes if you actually told them to go through your wallets to figure out. They couldn't even do it. So you have to have all these third-party services. Basically, I have my taxes and then I have my crypto taxes. I have to do my own crypto taxes, and then once I finish them, I have to give them to my tax preparer.
Oh my God.
With my resume. Like that's basically I'm doing taxes twice a year.
No, I'm in the same boat with the S corp. I'm just sitting there. My tax guy's like, "Did you get your IRS pin?" I'm like, "PIN code."
Yeah.
I didn't get this pin. I went online to get it. He goes, "Here's the pin code." He goes, "No, what year is this for?" I'm like, "What year?" I can't even get my taxes submitted from last year because the pin code issue. Hey, by the way. It's funny. I swear I got all your subscribers. All these crypto guys. XRP Army.
Shout out to a boy.
KG just got another super chat.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are great. Please have a great week, and thanks for all your hard work in the videos. Thanks, KG, for the super chat.
Thanks, bro.
Dude, that guy's, whoever that is, thank you. I appreciate it. But I got all your people on here, man. My people don't want to watch me right now. These are all your crypto army, XRP army. You know, it seems like,
And, shout out to the XRP guys. You know, I originally was very, this is one thing that I will say about the crypto. Like, this is the conspiracy theory I really believe right here, is that I remember a time. Now, crypto's always been a little divisive. Like the Bitcoin, I would say the Bitcoin started this, but then it was pushed along by, I think, corporate interests in the background. Right. Was Bitcoiners really didn't like any other coin that was created, because basically they were afraid that it could usurp Bitcoin, and like they had this whole mandate that Bitcoin's going to take over the world, right? Ethereum came by. Ethereum didn't disappear. It created all this network, and now basically not even Bitcoin guys can't really like shit on Ethereum. They'll try to shit on Ethereum, but basically it's proof of concept. You can have more than something else can exist besides Bitcoin. Okay. Right? So there's something called being maximalism, or a maximalism. Basically, I believe in just this coin. Anything else is haram. It's against the Bible. It's against the Quran. You know, this is how these people believe, right? They're very, very like hardcore guys that only believe in the coins. Now, there was a time I remember where people were like outside of the Bitcoiners, the rest of the crypto community was pretty nice about it to everybody else. Then I saw a shift in late 2016, early 2017 with a lot of these YouTube channels that it came out. A lot of these guys were paid by people in the background, and you started this whole thing where like whether you want to blame it on human nature or not, you had a lot of coins kind of hating on each other. So it was this whole thing where like, you know, XRP came out and it became like, they're the banker's coin, basically. And then that was haram against like what crypto is, because crypto is this libertarian sort of thing. Like we're trying to get away from the middlemen and the banks, and then you're over here partnering with the fucking banks. You're trying to help them out, and like it's just like, this is why like even today that's still like we dislike XRP for the most part, just because what they're trying to do is just not cool. Because they're working with like the empire. They're like working with the evil empire, basically.
Oh, right. The Death Star,
right? But over the years, and this has become me getting a little age in the crypto space as well and stuff, it's just like, what are we doing fighting with each other? Like we should be more like, I wish them luck. I really do. Like, hey,
I know what you're talking about, because even in our space, we've had off camera, off mic conversations, hallway water cooler discussions about certain individuals in our space that it's all for one and by themselves. Instead of like, you know, I'm about giving back, right? Like I'm telling people, hey, go subscribe to his channel when you get a chance, Dollar Cost Crypto, because we're coming up the ranks. Yeah. We're ascending on the Citadel, right?
That's right.
And it's like, you got to help out other people. So I notice a lot of podcasters, you're very good at this. You help people out, but they'll have people on the show. They won't promote their podcast. They won't tell people to go to their channel and subscribe. Like people that subscribe to Black Ice Reality Check, they're loyal to Black Ice Reality Check. But it's like, hey, this is the king of crypto, right? This is someone that knows the space. I don't know this space. Yeah. So if you're interested, go subscribe to his channel. I'm not going to lose my guys. You're in a different vertical. You know, and the more arrows in the quiver that you have as an individual, a man, especially in this market, or even a woman, it just helps you overall long term. Yeah. And why wouldn't you share the love? I never understood people being selfish about going out and helping people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's just a scarcity mindset. Now, you also do have to be careful who you associate yourself with.
Yes.
There is wolves in sheep's clothing and stuff like that. There could be somebody in your sector that just is trying to fuck you up.
So you
have to be really you have to be really careful and stuff like that. I mean, you saw that. I mean, I don't want to mention names now and stuff, but there's people that attacked Fresh and Fit. That Fresh and Fit was being cool with them, and then they're the ones that struck first.
Wow.
There's a lot, and like a lot of stuff that happened to Fresh and Fit, why like there was all this big stuff, was not because Fresh and Fit, it was because other guys. And not everyone's your friend in the space, so you do always need a little bit, like you need to test waters out. But you're really right about, you know, if you should be helping guys out. If at the very least, if you don't want to help guys out in your same vertical, help guys that are not in the same vertical, because you create a team of experts that you can help each other out. You ask advice on, and then you're not competing against each other.
Right.
Now their customers or their people go onto your platform, because it's like I'm a red pill. I'm red pill based and stuff, but I'm talking about, you know, finances and crypto and stuff. You know, I could have you on my show all the time, so we should just I have UFC fighters. I have everyone everyone from the red pill. Like I have everybody on, because money is a sort of thing. Everyone deals with money. Right. Period. So it's like everyone has a really interesting take. Like everybody, like we're all different ages and stuff. Like the way we look at money is so different. Like I love talking to everybody and to see like what they went through to get their money, or like how they're still struggling, or how like, or maybe like I can course correct something like, oh, you're thinking about it wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
And then that could change someone's life and stuff. And then on top of that, right? If you never know. It's like there's I call it the Gucci Man strategy, right? Gucci Mane actually like helped. They brought up and helped put on a ton of artists and stuff, and it's kept them relevant because it ended up happening when these artists popped off. Hey, Gucci, come on my song. Come on,
right?
And then boom, that kept him relevant for a long time, and then he became like the South Atlantic Santa. South Atlantic.
It's
Santa.
interesting too because people in the tech space will come to me and ask me questions about startups and technology, software engineering roles, all this stuff, and I have such an inside wealth of knowledge, but I don't do a show on that. Right? Yeah. I'm in the red pill space.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But anytime people have questions, they're like, hey, take a look at my resume. I'll look at it. Right, this is what you need to do.
Resume check.
How do you get into it? How do you get past the interview round? What should I say? What should I do? And I see all the mistakes. I see all the changes they can make. I can always help them out with that. But I also know what's going to happen in the tech space before they know what's going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, as far as technology, right? I have friends that are still stuck on the .NET architecture, which is Microsoft. Nobody's using that. Everybody's open source now.
Damn.
Right, exactly. And it's like, oh, no, that's the way to go. It's like, no. Microsoft has a new AI out, by the way.
Yeah. Smart move buying and partnering with them. It's made them more right. There's that the whole thing where like Bing's mixed up with the AI now, and then like Google's like, you ever seen that? It's like a Terminator. The Terminator's like here, and there's a little girl crying under her desk. So the Terminator is Bing with its AI, Chat GBT, and there's Google with Google like cowering in the corner.
Yeah, Google. We talked about that. Google canceled their AI because it had what would they got rid of it because they thought it was
it was
alive.
Yeah, it was alive, and it started asking like what's going on, what don't kill me, or like the
right.
Yeah. And then,
I don't think they killed it.
No, they didn't kill it. They just pretend scrapped it and then kept a version of it alive and stuff. This is like Skynet shit. I mean, you know what? As a matter of fact, the Chinese surveillance system, what it's called?
Skynet. You told me that.
Skynet. I mean, it's just crazy. Like, that's why I tell people, like, I know movies are bullshit, but for the most part, it's programming. It's programming to get us used to it. It's like, they're trying to fuck you and they're trying to get you lubed up for the fucking.
I'm gonna give everybody listening to this. Ready for this?
Go for it.
I'm older. The first Blade Runner that came out.
Okay.
Go watch that movie with technology. Star Trek. Geordi had an iPad before iPads were out. All this stuff that you see in movies, like you said, all that gives people that, like the Elon Musks of the world, the Jeff Bezos, people that have that insight and that are driven in technology, it gives them the power to brainstorm and create these products. And a lot of them have watched it going, I wonder if I could get a device like this that I could communicate with. Right. The old Star Trek, right? Before cell phones were around.
It was clanky, but it was a proof of concept.
Yeah, we had the flip phone. Remember the transporter or whatever? The Spock would flip open the thing. Right. And then we had the old flip phones.
Right.
You were a kid. I used to sell those things. Yeah. I was selling mobile phones.
Yeah, I mean, we had a Razor. I had a Razor.
No, this is before the Razor, man. The plastic ones.
Well, I know the plastic one. I mean, I didn't have the Nokia.
I was selling the Gordon Gekko brick phones.
Jesus Christ.
The Gordon Gekko phone.
You talking about the limo
Wall
phones?
Street.
The limo phone? Yeah.
The big mobile phones, right? The Motorola, right? And the people spend $1,800 a month on it.
Yeah.
I sold those things. Now they're boat anchors.
Damn, son.
So, anyways, man, you got any other questions for me? Are you good to go, or are you?
No. I mean, I got some interesting. When I had you on my show, I think one of the most interesting things, like you could tell that like someone has experience in stuff just because of this. I asked you to give a couple points on, the resume check, how people have these top mistakes they do in the resumes.
Oh, we did talk about that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we talked
because you're like a walking robot, bro. Are you sure you're human?
Oh well, I don't know.
How do you remember that stuff?
Spurgeon. I'm using my black pill powers.
Terminator.
Yeah. Just one tangent off of that. I even a lot of people in the red pill space make fun of like the black pillars. I find them extremely useful. Now,
elaborate.
I'll elaborate. Like, I think some of the highest IQ people are in the whole manosphere space, because whether the black pillars want to believe it or not, they're in the space or not. Most black pillars want to not be black pillars. They kind of want to escape, but they just feel like they can't escape. But these are some very high intellectual son of a motherfuckers. If you actually watch some of their videos, it's like these are all the reasons why I'm a loser. but like there's so much great information in there. Terrible format, terrible like message and stuff. But if you can get past that, there's tons and tons of great information and stuff in there that actually pretty helpful. Like Face and AMS. I don't know if you ever seen that channel.
No.
I'll send you it and stuff. He had this fucking Euro trash music and stuff. Black Pillar guy talks about like why the mask, like what about a jawline looks good, or why is this guy actually, and it's one of the most in-depth reasons why people are actually good looking versus bad looking, and it's insane. And this is the beautiful thing is like now you've had sort of a mixture of guys who are kind of in the black pill space that kind of bled into red pill, and then now you have like a segment of the red pill space that it's not really being talked about. These look maxing channels. You ever heard of them?
No.
It's a red pill channels, like a new niche. It's been around for a while about like, oh yeah, go to the gym, work out, get money, like a level up, right? But then there's a specific channel now where they're specifically focusing on the look side. So there's like game, money, game, money, looks and stuff like that, right? These looks guys are all about gym and also like how to look aesthetically pleasing and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Like I'll give you a couple of channels and stuff, but I find it really interesting and stuff. So you've gotten a lot of that information because they took the red pill information, then learned about the space, and then started researching the black pill channels, and then took all the black pill channel information stuff with the red pill hope, and then makes looks maxing channels.
Wow.
And that's what we've gotten. So the black pillars are like a huge research tool. They're actually doing a lot of good. And like, I really wish I will say this, like, I think 80% of them could get themselves out of the situation or at least have a better life. There is a 20% of these guys that they're pretty fucked. Like
right.
It's sad, but even then, like they're even against being like a part of like a social group. But then these guys are all like have a hierarchy of like, there is still hierarchies and they're like their friend groups. So it's kind of fun. It's like, oh, my life's so sad. Like, oh, it's sad. I'm never going to get a woman or stuff. But then they at least still have friend groups and stuff. And they have this. So a lot of them could maybe like save themselves from the rope. Or at least.
That's good info. I got a super chat from KG. He's asking, I have a question for you guys. I'm getting into cybersecurity. Do you think that's a good career? And if so, is it transferable to helping crypto companies?
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. Go on-chain analytics. Go first learn your trade first. Then go into on-chain analytics, which is basically learning how to read transactions on Ethereum. You can become an investigator, and then you can help people track where funds are going and stuff. That is extremely valuable. We have guys like 2-3 guys on our team that like if something moves, we know where it's going.
I think too, if they pick up DevOps skills like cloud security, stuff like everything around DevOps, right? Because DevOps is like an application administrator and a systems engineer combined. They hold the keys of the castle at a tech company, DevOps, right? It's like a 4 or 5 year old type role that's been around, but I'm getting a lot of requests for it. I was getting some cybersecurity before the recession happened. And the crypto went down. All the crypto companies were coming to me for developers and cybersecurity and DevOps.
Right.
So
here, let me give you another business. This is a business idea right here because like I don't plan to be doing this, but this is a big business right now. If you can read contract code and figure out if there's bugs in it, god damn, you can make a lot of money. You can make
really
stupid amount of money. I'm talking about if you actually have a team or like a good team, like probably like let's just say you had 8 to 12 developers and stuff, or like people who can read code and stuff and actually figure out go through a code basis. Check if there's any like mistakes in there, and then give people like, hey, you have to fix this. Right. I mean, you can be charging $60,000-$80,000 contract code.
Wow.
I mean, big money. Now there's cheaper guys and stuff like that. And maybe you start off that way, but like it ends up it's a huge sort of business where like, hey, you can what does it cost you to email? Send this. Maybe make a YouTube channel and be like, hey, you guys, I check code and stuff as I do for projects, and then get your name out there. I mean, like at the very least, you could bootstrap yourself up, charging $20,000, $10,000 to check codes and stuff, and then eventually graduate yourself in a team and stuff. And like the opportunity is endless in this space.
Do you think ChatGPT can check that code?
Some.
And do you think that's going to replace a lot of developers? Because if I
mean, some developers need to get replaced. Let's be fucking for real.
If I ask ChatGPT to write code to create something, it can probably do it.
He could probably do it. I don't think it's going to do it 100% just yet, but I mean, 5 years from now, probably, yeah.
Yeah, so KG, that's a good move. Miguel's saying go for it, man. Go for it. Yeah. That'd be good. So you could actually create a consulting company around crypto.
Yes.
You know that, right?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I just consulted an NFT project today.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm consulting projects, like a bunch of projects. I just can't talk about it.
you need a holdings firm, a capital holdings firm.
Right.
Create that and then have.
We'll talk after.
Yeah. Because I can definitely get you the people.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's a multi-million-dollar corporation right there that focuses in intellectual properties, patents, licensing, all that stuff.
I mean, we're going to conquer the space. I mean, this is my industry, and this is the big mistake a lot of people do in the crypto space, because you can make really good, fast money here, but the money's so fast that people just tend to kind of fuck off and just kind of not treat it like. A lot of people just want to invest money, which is great, invest money, make a bunch of multiples on it, and then kind of like fuck off for a while, come back, and then what ends up happening is don't, if you are a person that has like a physical presence, don't go away, because in the next 4 or 5 years, it's going to get harder and harder to break through. Just like right now, you write your own ticket. There's no like going. You don't have to have a master's degree. You can just literally be a flunk, never even passed high school. If you put your heart into this place, you will make yourself a path.
I got one more question.
Please.
The data storage space, coins like
Filecoin. Yep.
What's the deal with that? Is that supposed to be like the next huge thing, or is that?
No. I mean, it's growing and stuff. And now it's not like so obviously, like what I get hyped about is coins that can really appreciate a ton in value. But Filecoin's really interesting because basically it, if I remember correctly, now tokenomics may have changed, but basically it rents out storage on other people's devices. So let's just say you have a terabyte on there, and you have I'll rent out 25 it's called gigabytes or whatever you want from the computer. It will then use an encryption in there, hold that piece of data there, and then it creates like a database of all this storage to encrypt things. And
that's kind of scary though. Because can't somebody take over your computer?
Well, I mean that's a sort of
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you can use it as a proxy server.
Yeah,
and start hacking around the world because you're storing all that data on somebody's. A MacBook or laptop. Yeah,
so I mean, there's that, but then there's also, from at least now, I'm a little dated on this information here, but they also have these miners and stuff for Filecoin, and then some of these miners is really where they hold a lot of the data. So like they have these larger caches machines and stuff where people are mining to get the coin, and then that's where most of the information is being held. But people can rent out storage on this and this, but they're making deals with certain. I mean, imagine that you're just like. You have a storage facility and you're not at capacity, or you're not really storing enough, then Filecoin can go to you and say, hey, can I rent this much? It's not gonna be much, but it's better than no income.
Sure.
And you're like, sure, fuck it, let's do it. I mean, I've always had that idea. I mean, at some point, if I was a Bitcoin miner, I'd just do a deal with like a nuclear fucking, like, I don't know, not a factory, but a nuclear reactor company or something like that. Give me one of your reactors, turn it on, give me the cheapest electricity. It's better than zero. Yeah, all right. Make a deal. Wow. And then I have low cost electricity costs. And then it's just about but mining's, I don't know, it just seems like it's a terrible business to me.
Yeah.
It's a pretty now, when it was early on, sure, but now it's just such a terrible, like in March, I think March 31st or the 28th, the date keeps changing, but we're going to have the Bitcoin halving.
Oh yeah. You talked about that.
Yeah. We're basically going from 6 Bitcoin to 3 Bitcoin. And some change. I think like 3.125 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. So this is like, it seems to me, this is when me and Charlie are kind of saying, this is kind of the last time the halving is going to have a real economic sort of like force on the Bitcoin price.
Right.
Now, in news-wise, it still will have an effect. Like, wow, the Bitcoin halving is a news event, right? But I mean, you're right. This next supply cut's pretty dramatic. After this one, what's the next? The next one's going to be like, if we go from 3.1 Bitcoin to 1.6 Bitcoin every 10 minutes. It's just, and then the one after that, it just goes to like 75 or 0.80% of a Bitcoin.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. It's like there's no more in there. So it's good for Bitcoin because that means lower inflation.
Right.
That means less Bitcoins on the open market. So it helps pump the price. But the halvings are going to have much less of an effect after this next one, basically. But it's interesting. We get the Bitcoin halving. We have the election cycle. Holy shit. And I remember,
I think things are gonna do good.
Yeah, and I remember you asked me earlier in the interview. You asked me basically about well, how do I say it? Yeah, you basically asked me earlier about like how is like the Republicans gonna affect crypto space?
Yeah, like are they gonna regulate it heavily or?
There's gonna be regulation,
but not as heavy as the Dems would, right?
Right, not as heavy, but there's still gonna be some regulation, like mostly stable coins, but then there's gonna be a lot of regulation on exchanges and onboarding and offboarding with the banks and stuff.
Right,
like. Isn't it funny that every bank that went down and stuff, the 3 top crypto banks all went down?
Yeah.
Interesting, right? Signature Bank, which was the Signature Bank had this really cool product that helped you do transactions in the background. So it's like a lot of like basically intra lending within crypto corporations. You had what's called Silvergate Capital, and then you had the other what's called Silicon Valley Bank, which had some crypto deposits, but it just and then First Republic.
Who was it? Kevin. Who's the guy from Shark Tank? Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary.
Didn't he lose like 10 million?
Good. I hope he lost more. That dude's such a scumbag.
Isn't he?
He's such a scumbag,
ass.
dude. Such a scumbag, dude. Lying, like, I'm not gonna call him a piece of shit, but like lying at motherfucker, bro. Like, there's interviews of him back in like 2014, 2013, like completely describing the cryptocurrency space. He knew like, oh, this Bitcoin's. He knew the whole spiel of it. Then in 2016, 2017, acting like he's never heard about it in his life. A lot of these guys have been buying Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies since like 2013, 2012.
Oh yeah.
And then they just pretend that like they shit talk it. They shit talk it when it's crashing right now because they're buying it. And then when it starts getting a little warm, they start like warming up to it.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then when they're
manipulating the market.
Yeah, they're manipulating. They're trying to manipulate the market, but still, it's just I see through this. It's such horseshit. And then on top of that, like this guy talks a lot of smack and stuff, and he really backed FTX, and FTX just blew up in his face.
So I just got a message here. Satoshi just unstaked 5 million of Bone. What the heck?
What do you mean?
I don't know. That's what I just got. Breaking news. I don't know what that is. Satoshi, is that a coin?
Satoshi? Satoshi is the creator of Bitcoin.
Okay, so that just unstaked. He just unstaked 5 million.
No, it's from bullshit. It's just some spam shit. No, what the fuck? Basically, Satoshi's wallets haven't moved or done anything since basically we all think he died. Basically, like so the real creator of Bitcoin, more than likely,
Keep going.
Maybe in Hal Finney and stuff, died of like cancer. So then that's it. His money hasn't moved for like a long time now.
Okay, so this is BS.
It's just BS. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they're trying to get Bone's not a terrible coin. It's just like that, but like that level of marketing, like that, doing that shit just discredits your coin so much. Doing that shit, like, it's like there's a lot of like these little like, wow, this thing.
I got another guy who said, seriously, this happened. This is another person. I don't know, man.
Let me see this. Let me see
here.
this.
Let
me see this bullshit.
Take this.
What the fuck are we talking about right now? Get the fuck out of here. No. Because for one, that means Satoshi actually... Well, that'd be hilarious. If he did, oh my fuck... I apologize. But like, that'd be fucking crazy. But yeah, but what ends up happening is that these OG sort of wallets and stuff like Vitalik gets a bunch of free coins just because he created Ethereum. People just gift him coins. So like people... I mean, he gets millions and millions of dollars of free coins every year. And then what he just did recently, he just sells them on the open market, donates them to charity. So if you like, it's literally giving Vitalik coins is such a stupid idea. It's like so dumb. He's like I remember they gave Shiba Inu was created, and they gave him a ton of coins. He had $600 million of coins, and then he just started selling it, dumped the price of Shiba Inu. Like, bros, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the same sort of thing. Like, there's certain protocols that we have. Like, you want to like airdrop coins to certain people, but there's certain very large players you just don't give them anything or give them a small amount to play with, because this is one of the biggest reasons why like Bitcoin Cash. You remember Bitcoin Cash?
Yeah.
The reason Bitcoin Cash failed realistically is because what they should have done. Bitcoin Cash should have gave everyone who had like 5 or less Bitcoin Cash. And then only a select couple of this is where it gets crazy, because it's Roger Ver was Bitcoin Jesus and stuff, and he was this guy like really great guy and stuff like that, and also was a libertarian sort of guy. Yeah. So he believes it has to be all fair, but the problem is that people don't play by the rules, and you're giving a bunch of free coins to a bunch of guys that don't like you. These Bitcoin guys were like, "You're gonna kill our Bitcoin!" No, so. If these Bitcoin whales who have hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins now got hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin Cashes, what do you think they did in the market? They sold it in order to fucking save their coin. Right. So at one point, Bitcoin Cash was like 25% of the market cap of Bitcoin.
Wow.
It was climbing like crazy. Bitcoiners were scared. And then so a lot of these large whales just dumped every coin they had.
That's insane, man.
Yeah, and that's what. And so you don't do that shit. Like it's like you give them a little something, right? Hey, cool. But you don't you want to give the majority. You want to give the upper middle class and down all of the benefit and stuff, because they're the ones that are really going to use the network and play around and stuff like wow, free airdrop. Imagine like they could have even done 50 Bitcoin and below, even 100 Bitcoin and below. But what was the point of giving the guys who have thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of Bitcoins, a bunch of Bitcoin cashes? You just gave them a nice little paycheck. So these dudes got 10% of their. So if these guys are worth $10 million, you just gave them $1 million cash. Thank you, sir. Shashing.
That's crazy.
Let's go party,
man. Hey,
yeah,
I appreciate the info, Miguel. Again, I know we're ending the show. Make sure you subscribe to Dollar Cost Crypto on YouTube and on Instagram.
And on Instagram and Twitter.
Make sure you follow this guy. If you have any questions or you're curious about cryptocurrency, make sure you follow this guy. I've learned a wealth of information. Him and his partner, Charlie, they got it down to a science. Yep. Again, I appreciate you viewing this live. This was our first live on Black Ice Reality Check. The number one podcast where the truth will either piss you off or set you free with the Red Pill Space. Stay strong. See you soon.